It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
What it do? What it do? Welcome to another episode of Let's Bet It. Got a 5 game slate to talk about today. Today is Tuesday. Sunday plays didn't treat me too kindly, but we move forward. It's a new day. We got a 5 game slate. There's a couple of plays, or not a couple. There's one that there's two that I've made in the same game so far. But maybe we can talk through. We're gonna talk through the rest of these games and maybe come up with like I said, talk it out, and then we just maybe talk ourselves into a few more plays. Like I said, it's a big slate. And I also have another 2-leg plus money prop parlay to give out. I actually put it out on Twitter, but I'll go over that on the show too. Before we get into it, a few comments. Can't stop. What's up, bro? Let's get some money tonight. I am the man. Thanks for tapping in, bro. All right. So let's get into the first game tonight. Lynx at Liberty. Minnesota is sitting at, or New York is sitting at 3.5-point underdogs or favorites. That I see across a few books. Total is sitting at 166.5. This is the rubber match. They've kind of had this weird, like 3-game series in the middle of the season. I think it's weird, but Minnesota has gotten the first two in this little in-season series. They took the first one back on August 10th, 83-71. That was in New York, and then they came back home and beat them 86-80. So now they head back to New York for the third and final meeting of the season, and I bet the under in this one. I took the under 166.5. I just really think, after these teams have saw each other so frequently within the last week of each other, I think that both coaches are excellent coaches. They are going to, I feel like they're going to make adjustments. They kind of, at this point, this is almost like a playoff series that they've played, in the last week. So, they've kind of, gotten used to tendencies and things like that. So I see this game going under. I bet that under 166.5. And I also took the first half. I also took the first half under 85. 85.5. You can get that on a couple of different books. But if you look at the last 5 for both of these teams, the Lynx are 4-1 to the under. Their last 5, 2-0 as away dogs. Liberty, same thing, 4-1 to their first to the first half under. 1-0 as a home favorite the last 5. Also, team total records. Lynx 4-1 to their team total under in the first half. Opponents, Lynx 4-1. Their opponents are to their team total under in the first half. The Liberty, their opponents 4-1 to their team total under. So I played that one too. I believe this game, like I said, I believe there's not going to be a ton of pace. Like I said, this is a playoff atmosphere. I think New York is really going to bring it on the defensive end. Even though it's a regular season matchup, you don't want to get sweat. Against, even though you beat this team in the finals, you still want to at least get one win. And that kind of leads me to another play that I haven't played, but one that I would, strongly recommend, and that is the Liberty first quarter minus a half point. I just feel like they're going to be in front of their home crowd. Like I said, I just feel like the sense of urgency is going to be there with New York, not wanting to get swept in the season series. And I think they come out with something here in the first quarter. So I like them to. I mean, you're basically asking them to win the quarter. So I like them to win the first quarter by a half point. It's a little juiced on some books, but you can definitely get that across multiple books. Can't Stop likes the first half under as well. 85 said he might play Lynx plus 3.5 for some juice on the FD. Thinks he wins out again, and that's very possible, and that's kind of why I stayed away from the side, man. I just maybe the Lynx just have their number, and I mean New York is still missing, even though the Lynx are obviously missing Feed, but New York is missing Stewie as well, so. Likes the full game under too. Yep. So I played both of those. So far, those are the only two looks that I have in this on the card. My 2-leg plus money prop parlay. One of the legs is in this game, and that is Natasha Cloud under her 1.5 threes. So that's the first half of that 2-leg parlay. The next leg I will read off when I get to that game. All right, let's go to this next one, Sun and Mystics. Mystics are laying 6 at home. Total sitting at 157.5. The Sun coming off of that big time choke job against the Fever back on Sunday, blew a 21-point lead, game went to overtime, and the Fever, I had them minus 6.5. That was one of my plays, and they almost covered it in overtime. Tina Charles hit that cheap 3 with a little less than 10 seconds left, but nevertheless, they blew the game. Was up 21, and Kelsey Mitchell just started cooking them. They made the comeback and completed it in overtime. So the Sun are coming off. That loss. That was a brutal one. Mystics coming into this one, coming off of a 95-86 win against the Sparks. And I believe they were dogs in that game as well, I think. Don't quote me on that. But either way, an impressive win against a team that in LA that has been hot, and they put up 95 points against them. A few notes that I just kind of, I don't have a play on this game either way. I do have a lean. But the one thing that the Sun did to the Fevers in the first half of that game on Sunday is they turned them over a lot in the first half. Once the Fever got, control of their turnovers, they got right back in the game. And, I mean, the Sun are third in the last 5 in turnover rate forced. The Mystics, on the other hand, have had a lot of trouble holding on to the ball. They're 12th in turnover rate percentage the last 5. So that could be something that the Sun could exploit early, being able to turn the Mystics over. The Sun are last in offensive rebound percentage allowed. So they give up a lot of offensive boards. But one thing the Mystics do well is crash the boards. They are third in their last 5 in offensive rebound percentage. One thing that the Sun get a lot of their points from is second chance points. The Mystics, first and second chance points allowed the last 5. So just a few little, trends, tidbits to kind of keep in mind if you're capping this game or thinking about making a play in this one. I think and my lean is to the Sun in the first half. You can get a plus 3.5 on some different books. I think the Sun, just like the Fever game, they're going to come out on the defensive end, I believe, really try to turn the Mystics over. Maybe it takes a half for the Mystics to kind of catch up and kind of deal with, the defense that the Sun play and, enforcing those turnovers. The Fever had to do it. They turned the ball over a million times in the first half the last game. And I believe they only had 2 turnovers total in the second half. I could be wrong on that, but they took excellent care of the ball after halftime. So it might take the Mystics a little bit of time to adjust, but I like the Sun plus 3.5 for the first half. Can't stop likes Mystics team total over 81 and a half. I mean, that's kind of low, to me a little bit. They did just put up 95 on the Sparks, but and they don't play any defense. The Sun are a little bit better defensively, but not, not by a lot. So I could definitely see a over Mystics team total in this one. He said they're finally finding their footing after the Sykes trade, and I would agree with that. All right, let's hit this next one. Storm at Sky. Sky getting 10.5 at home. Total sitting at 158. I don't know if Angel Reese got ruled in yet or not, but I know there's a strong possibility she could make her return tonight. One play that I have in this game, I haven't played it yet, probably will. And here's the thing. I think the Storm are ass. I just don't think they're very good. I think it's well documented the locker room issues that they're having. I don't think the coach really, I think the coach has lost them, to be honest with you. But the one thing I'll say about the Sky is that they can't score on anybody. They simply can't. The last game that the Storm and the Sky met, and this wasn't too long ago. Let's take a look here. Last time these two teams met. Okay, let's go Sky. So the last time these two teams met, the Sky only had 57 points against them, and honestly, I mean, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games ago. And the Storm haven't been good for 10 games, and they still held Chicago to 57 points. I see more of the same happening tonight in this one, honestly. If Reese doesn't return, I like it. Even if she does return, I like it because it's going to take her a while to get reacclimated back into the offense. So I could see the offense stalling out, trying to work her back in. So I really like the Sky team total. I believe it was 74. Let me double check. Let me double check real quick. Sky team total 73. Still like it. Since the All-Star break, so they've played 2 games against the Mystics since the All-Star break, and the Mystics, they scored 78 and 86. The Mystics, so they scored 87 and 78 in the 2 games against the Mystics, or 76 against the Mystics. I took those 2 games out. Since the All-Star break, the Sky are averaging 65.7 points against teams that are not the Mystics. And that's a 9-game sample, 65 points. And after, they only putting up 57 against Seattle just 10 games ago. I don't see how they get to 73. So one play that I strongly recommend, have not played it, might get to the window with it, is Sky team total under 73.5. All right. I Am the Man likes the Sun with the points. Tina Charles likes to beat up on the young ones. Yeah, she was cooking yesterday. And I just think it kind of caught up to her in the second half because she kind of disappeared. But that first half, I mean, she was cooking Aaliyah Boston, cooking anybody that was on her. So Tina Charles should be able to get hers tonight. Let's hit the next one. And like and comment, y'all. If you're in here, drop a like, drop a comment. Helps the algorithm. Helps the show to get noticed. So yeah, definitely drop a like for me, and kind of drop your plays in the comment section. All right, let's hit the next one. Dream at Aces. Aces are laying 2 at home. Total sits at 166. Both teams obviously are coming in hot. And one thing I have forgot to mention is the standings in a lot in these as part of my caps in these games. So, as we getting closer to playoff, to the playoffs, these standings actually matter. And these teams that are fighting for position and fighting for to even get in the playoffs, kind of factors in. Um, this game here, Dream at Aces, does carry some implications as far as the standings. The Dream have come in here hot. They're 8-2 in their last 10. Aces, 7 in a row. They're coming in on a 7 in a row on a winning streak coming in. And I mean, two good teams. And the Dream only sit a game and a half ahead of Vegas. So a win here by Vegas that puts them a half game behind behind Atlanta, but it also, if we look at the I'm looking at the season series. Let's see. Atlanta. Okay. Not sure how many times they've played, but anyway, but yeah, it definitely puts them just a half game behind them in the standing. So these games, with these playoff implications, there's going to be a lot of them leading up these last couple weeks of the regular season. Um, I think my take on this game, I really like the Dream. I like their form right now. They look. I know the Aces have been hot, but I just this Dream team, I think, is a championship contender. If there's a team that could knock off New York or knock off Minnesota, I'm not saying they're better than them, but I feel like they're the only team that could, remotely challenge those other two in a playoff series. So I really like Atlanta tonight. It's nothing I've played. I like them, plus the points. I like them to win the game outright. Um, I could see this game possibly the total. I just don't know. I don't have a strong opinion on the total. I could see this game. I could see it going either way. I could see it being a defensive struggle. Atlanta likes to play slow. I don't think the Aces are playing super fast nowadays. But there's offensive firepower on both sides on these two teams. So either way, it wouldn't surprise me on the total whether it went over or under. But my look for that one is Dream +2 and Dream on the money line. Sure, it's plus money. I am demand likes NECA over 16.5 points. Couldn't argue with you there. She cooks, definitely cooks. All right, let's hit this last one. Mercury at Valkyries. Valkyries are sitting at they're getting 6.5 at home. Total sits at 154. Feel like that move. Feel like that might open at 155 or 156. Phoenix comes into this game. Phoenix comes into this game off of a. And I know they just won. Who did they beat? They beat the Storm, of course. Everybody's beating them. 85-82, their last one. Um, Beat them in Seattle as well. So they're coming off of a nice win, coming in here to Golden State. And the Valkyries are coming off a loss. They Atlanta went in there, and I played that game, played Atlanta. Atlanta went in there and beat them 79-63. So the Valkyries coming in here off a loss. Hard to fade them, when they lose a game, especially off a loss, especially a home loss. Couldn't argue with nobody with the first half for the Valkyries. That's a +3.5. Couldn't argue, honestly, with the under. I think the Valkyries are going to bring the defense. These first couple of games that they play they have been a little bit higher scoring. So the total sat at their first meeting, the total sat at 157. The game ended at 163. The second game played on July 14th. That total closed at 158 and a half. And 155 was scored in that game. So, and that game was in Golden State, and the higher scoring one was in Phoenix. So, couldn't talk anybody off of a full game under in this one. I know the total's low, and couldn't talk anybody off of a Valkyries first half. That's been a wagon this season. All right, and also back to the Storm and Sky game. My the second leg of my 2-leg plus money prop parlay is Gabby Williams under her 1.5 threes. So if you were listening earlier, first leg is Natasha Cloud under her 1.5 threes. Second leg is Gabby Williams under her 1.5 threes. I think the only place you can now get it is on Caesars, and I believe it was a plus 122 on Caesars. So once again, Cloud under her threes, Gabby Williams under her threes, plus money 2-leg prop parlay there. So yeah, back to best bets. My best bet for the show was my first play of the day. It was the Liberty Lynx under 166.5. Like I mentioned before, I feel like, with this being a third game and literally a week between these three teams, I'm sure the coaches have devised game plans to really slow the other down. I think defense will be on display, especially from the Liberty side. They haven't been playing very good defense since Stewie's been out, and I think they're really going to want to bring it on that end tonight to avoid getting swept in the season series. So best bet for me, Liberty Lynx under 166.5. There's one game on the schedule tomorrow. May get on here and talk about it, may not. I'm not sure. I'll do my digging on it, see if we can find anything. I still may come on, just to, throw out some information, and maybe you guys will have something on the one game tomorrow. It's the Wings versus the Wings at Sparks. So, and I believe that line is sitting at minus 7.5. At the time we're doing this live. So, check Twitter, follow us on Twitter, follow myself, Dimes, Dropping Dimes, Can't Stop, GOB. GOB's got a system for tonight in the WNBA, so check him out. And he's got a system for MLB too, so check him out on X. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends about the show. We'll be getting on here. We'll be talking about football pretty soon. Probably doing Saturday shows too. Once a week for football. So a lot of exciting stuff coming up. Until then, best of luck on anything you're playing. And John Witherspoon's going to take us to the crib. Peace.
If you're broke, try to have a nice day. If you're fat, try to have a nice day. If you're skinny, try to have a nice day. If you got a big head, try to have a nice day. If your mama's ugly, try to have a nice day. If your daddy whoop your ass, try to have a nice day. If a dog bites you in the ass, bite him back and try to have a nice day. Try to have a nice day. See, that's my theme. Try to have a nice day. I'm about to leave right now and go try to have me a nice day. All right. Try to have a nice day.